is up, everybody? Good afternoon. I almost said good evening somewhere, but good afternoon. Welcome into the Scarves and Spikes live podcast from the Nest on 4, Signia by Hilton Hotel. Sydney and Tyler with you. Jackson and/or Henry maybe a little bit later on.
Yeah, they'll be on the way. We've got a big show today. We've got news to talk about. We've got a lot of stuff going on. If you don't know and you have found yourself in the middle of the bar again, and you've entered into a live soccer podcast, if you don't know, Atlanta United is going to be playing next door at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Full 60,000, 70,000 building opened up. They're saying it's sold out. I don't know. We'll see. But, yeah, we'll see how it goes. But, yeah, it's a big one. It's a big Derby Day match. For those of you that, again, don't know who we are, Scarves and Spikes, my name is Tyler Pilgrim. This is Sydney Hunt. And we got to give the quick plug. Go check over on the banner over here or go to scarvesandspikes.com. Get yourself signed up on our YouTube, subscribed, all that good stuff. So, now we got the bills paid. We have a soccer match to talk about.
Dan, what's up? We see you here in the comments. Lawful will see you as well. What's up, guys? Trying to show it here on my screen. I can't for whatever reason, but we see you. We know you are here. Thanks for those of you joining us online. We appreciate you coming out, whether you're watching on YouTube, X, or Twitch. We appreciate you coming on. But, yeah, you mentioned some news, some big news.
Yeah,
here we go.
Who do you want to start with?
Question mark. Well, let's start with the big news, the obvious news, the report from Fabrizio Romano that Yorgos Giacomakis and Cruz Azul continue to be in discussions. $10 million, thereabouts, is the number that Fabrizio tweeted out last night, I believe. So looks like that was corroborated by Tom Bogert from The Athletic. So looks like this thing might be happening.
Yeah, you've got some outlets down in Mexico now that are also saying that, Atlanta star striker Yorgos Giacomakis going to be moving on. Originally, I think they said it was $8.5 million with some add-ons, but now it's looking like it's going to be $10 million guaranteed. It's one of those things, right? Like he has been the guy for the past year and a half, roughly. But he's injured. He's been going through kind of an injury situation. He played nonstop over in Scotland for about 2 years. His only real break has been here in this offseason. But he's still got the hamstring issue. Yeah. It keeps coming back up. So, it's one of those – it's actually a very vanilla transaction in terms of like a soccer transaction. But I think if you're Atlanta United, I know, money isn't necessarily a factor. You have this giant, massive building that the World Cup is going to be played in a couple of years. Copa America is going to be here in 2 weeks. And actually, we're going to be doing a show for that too. So come out. But – it's not the money's a situation or an issue, but you're going to basically double your money if you go after this transaction, and then also you open up a DP spot.
Yep.
The transfer window is coming up in July. You have an opportunity still. It's early enough to maybe make the right change and do something with this season.
Antoine Griezmann might be available, Tyler. Was a 15 million euro release clause or something like that?
Yeah.
So it might be your striker replacement. Memphis Depay might be available.
That's another one, free agent
as well as on a free. So might have some options out there. But no, I think the big thing is, we mentioned it, the injuries that Giacomakis has been experiencing since he got here. Granted, he was terrific last season, almost won a Golden Boot, as we've mentioned numerous times, but on the same side of the coin, or the other side of the coin, it's those injuries and that hamstring, that bulky hamstring that has been bugging him since really he got here. And I think that's the biggest thing that kept him from really playing to his potential. Sounds weird to talk about, especially after how good he was last season. But at the same time, though, it's been an issue. It's been an issue this season, and Atlanta United have had to deal with that. Fortunately, they've had some reinforcements. Thank you very much. Thank you. Got some drinks on the way. Sprite for me, and
we're good.
What you got? A Coke for Tyler. We got our server here off stage. We gotta get her on the mic here in a second. Just kidding. But no, fortunately, we have pretty good reinforcements in TRA and Rios, who have been serviceable for Atlanta United. So maybe hold on to them and hope they play to their potential during this until the summer when the window opens to get Henry set up here.
Can you do it with one hand?
What's up?
Yes, he can.
But yeah, you have TRA, you have Rios, of course. And hopefully they play the best of their potential until the window opens and can bring somebody in. Now, just because the window is closed, that doesn't mean you can't sign anybody. You can't come to agreement with anybody. When the window opens, that's when they come over, actually. So nothing's preventing Atlanta United from talking to players who could come in as that GG replacement if they need to. So that's one key thing to think about.
So as Henry gets in, fashionably late as usual. No, coming from
Better late than never.
Quick shout out to the Nest on 4 bar. Quick shout out to everybody. Putting this on, Signia Hotel putting this on. I got a Crown and Coke in honor of the Crown and Coke Derby, as I'm going to call it. I don't know what everybody else is calling it, but Queen City in Charlotte, Coke here in Atlanta. So here's my drink for the afternoon.
The Royal Rumble.
The Royal Rumble.
Here's a view of the bar. If you guys aren't with us in person, there's my
there you
finger, and then there's Tyler with his Crown and Coke, and me, of course.
Tyler is critiquing the drinks today. He'll like write an article on the Scarves and Spikes website, like rating the drinks and everything. You rated the mojito, didn't you?
Yes, I did. I'm a mojito snob, so look, I'll call you out if it's not made right, but I will say I got one here last time, and the one here was made proper. So shout out to the bartenders. Y'all do a great job.
Real quick, Omar is, yes, shout out. Real quick, Omar is saying in the chat, we call it the sweet teacup. So there's another
Sweet teacup
possibility.
That could work.
This is a Waffle House Bojangles thing. Do we have any Charlotte people in here, by the way? Any Charlotte fans at all? Cool.
Guess not.
That's okay. Home field advantage, baby. Henry, we were just talking about Yakimakis. We were talking about the news. Obviously, I know you are on a one-man effort to bring Antoine Griezmann here, but what are your thoughts?
Well, the GG situation, I mean, at first I know we kind of thought it was agent speak and we didn't think much of it, but at this point it kind of seems very far developed where even, Fabrizio Romano is reporting on it and, I'm torn because I like GG. GG is awesome. He's a fantastic player when he's healthy, but he's just missed so much time that you kind of wonder, is it worth it to have him around for, how many ever games is ever to be healthy. Meanwhile, you kind of look around the league and you see players that like Chicho Arango who are able to stick around and just go on a run. Cucho Hernandez even. I mean, he missed a couple of games due to stuff happening. But other than that, he's been mostly healthy. And like GG, I love the fact that he's a fighter, right? He's a warrior on the field, and you love to see the passion that he has because he clearly has passion for the team, and he loves the city and he loves the fans. But 10 million, that's a hard number to say no to, and it opens up a lot of options for the summer, which is coming up very soon. And I have been pushing the Antoine Griezmann thing. I won't lie. I would love to see Antoine Griezmann play in this beautiful, beautiful stadium. Antoine Griezmann, if you're watching,
Or in France.
Here it is.
you could play here.
Spain, I should say. Spain.
Number one selling point.
Imagine if GG were healthy, though, how much that price tag would go up.
True. And I mean, honestly, I think if GG were healthy, this wouldn't be a problem at all. I don't think it would, right? Because if he were healthy, I mean, you'd pay the guy his money, you'd keep him around. He wouldn't, it wouldn't be a question because his goal scoring ability, that is not in question. His quality is not in question. It's whether he can stay on the field to show that quality. So, yeah, I mean, 10 mil right now he's going to be 30 in the summer. He turns 30. You could potentially go out and get a younger striker that is entering, his prime, and potentially that'll give you more of a long-term solution in the position. So yeah, I think it's a good bit of business at 10 mil. Hard to say no. And I mean, I'm going to miss the guy, but
Miss him for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
I
agree.
think you have to do it.
So Omer's saying in the chat, like we mentioned Depay, Memphis earlier, but what about a player like Leo Campana out of Miami? I mean,
I wouldn't be against it. I think he'd be a good fit for Atlanta. I mean, he clearly knows how to score. He's on the bench at Miami, so that's a good way to kind of
TAM player, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah, TAM player, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not 100% sure about his roster stuff.
I think he got dropped down from a DP spot. I think he originally came in.
Still making a pretty good amount of money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you could get him for TAM money, that would be one heck of a deal, because then you could get, figure out what you could do with the other DP slot. If you sell Almada in the summer, you have another DP slot open. With the roster rule changes, you could potentially buy down Stian and have another DP slot open. You could potentially have 3 new DPs.
You absolutely could. You could have an entirely different roster. And if we're going further than that, you go into the offseason.
We have Charlotte people in here.
Yes.
Hey! What are y'all doing? You could go into the offseason with 8 new players, potentially, depending on options that you pick up. But then, 3 new DPs. And that's not even including what happens in the summer. You could make this Giakoumakis move and make something happen right now. So we're going to keep talking about it. But as people who watch this show live on a normal basis might know, we try to be interactive. Sydney's been up here pulling up stuff in the chat. But we have wireless microphones now. So if anybody wants to give their opinion on these kind of things, Giakoumakis, the way the team's been playing, whatever you want to talk about, as long as it's Atlanta United related or soccer, in some way. Don't get up here complaining about the water main break. Then hey, come on up. We'll give you the mic.
So I'll say this real quick, and yes, please come up and participate if you're watching online. Obviously, the comments are open. I'll say this too: we're talking about DPS, but remember, in the summer, a 4th U22 player will be added to each MLS team. So
could be added
because
it's a choice. You could choose to have 4 U22 slots and 2 DPs, or you could choose to have 3 DPs and 3 U22s.
So if you sell GG, you get that 4th DP because you have 3 DPs.
4th U22.
4th U22.
You could get a 4th U22 or a 3rd DP. It's your choice.
Yeah. Do they make a play for a younger striker?
No.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
Or so you say someone is
if you're going to get a DP striker, that would be the only case where I could see you getting a striker. I don't think you use a U22 slot on a striker.
Do you buy down maybe Gregerson to TAM level?
If you can.
Totally possible. If you have the cap space to potentially get another DP, add another DP to the roster, absolutely.
And then you say U22 spot, maybe another position of need, like we talk about winger, that left wing. Do we bring in a U22 left wing or something along those lines?
It's tough because all your U22 slots are used up at the moment because you have Mascara, Ibarra, and Sosa still on the roster. If you get the 4th U22 slot and you decide to do that instead of the DP slot, sure, I could see that. I'm not sure, other than accounting reasons, why the club would want to use a U22 slot instead of a DP slot. But yeah, it's totally a possibility. Also, I just noticed the banner, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, we have a fancy new banner up for the live shows. It's beautiful. If I could show it to you now, I would. For those of y'all that are watching at home.
Yes.
But you just need to come to the live show next time.
I feel like we need to cut a deal with Rosario or Racing to buy either Ibarra or Sosa to up with the C22 spots.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's the thing. You still have a lot of room and wiggle room. Like, you have a lot of room now, but you have a lot more that you have to do to really get this roster, I think, where Garth Lagerwey wants it. He's kind of mentioned it's not quite out of the
optimized is the word to use. It's not optimized yet, and you've still got a couple windows
show that was 2021, 2022, and to a degree 23. You've got room, right? But you've got to go make some more moves. And getting rid of permanently your 2 that are on loan to clubs in Argentina, that's a priority.
Yeah.
Getting the best you can out of however many designated players that you want to have on this roster, which I imagine, knowing Garth Lagerwey and knowing what he likes to do, he's going to be looking for 3 full-fledged, somewhat veteran, if that's the word we want to use, DPs. I don't think he's going to hinge too much on trying to find a U22 unless the right one comes along.
Right. Yeah, gonna be an interesting summer. Interesting, especially if they sell Gigi, which sounds like it might happen. So,
Hi, Edgar.
Edgar
So
shouting out Henry McLevin.
So we have obviously a game to talk about. This place is about to be completely opened up.
Gates are just open, by the way.
Yeah, the gates are opening up. So
Floodgates are up. Oh, sorry, that's a horrible choice of words.
please don't. Not right now. I told you no water main break jokes. The club is supposed to be doing some kind of full stadium something
Yeah,
or other.
Yeah.
Don't know what it is. Don't know if it's going to be a TIFO. Don't know if it's going to be just some kind of thing on the Halo board, but they're supposed to be having something exciting going on that's going to go right before kickoff. So you guys will get over there in plenty of time.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what's the last time they've done that? I feel like last time that happened was the 2018 Eastern Conference Final.
Yeah,
I believe so.
Truly full stadium. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the last one.
Yeah. And, I mean, here's the thing. When you do something like that, it requires money. It requires sponsorships. It requires, some outside source coming in and saying, hey, this is what we want to have happen. So it's unfortunately the club just hasn't played well enough or made it far enough in the playoffs to make it make sense. But you're doing it. Atlanta's clearly taking this rivalry today very seriously. They've gone back and forth on social media, plenty. I think it'll be something exciting, and I think this match is going to be exciting.
So who is Atlanta's primary rival now? Is it Charlotte? Is it Nashville? Is it Orlando? Who is it? Is it somebody not in the Southeast? I feel like the club is really pushing it to be Charlotte at this point in time.
It feels like that, yeah. It feels like they're pushing for Charlotte. There's still some stuff with Orlando, though. I feel like that one is kind of evened out a bit. Like
It's a little manufactured, though.
Red Bulls, I feel like, was the main principal rival.
Red Bulls for a couple of years was a true rivalry, and it wasn't manufactured. It was one of those where the teams just hated each other.
Yeah.
They could not stand each other. The matches were incredibly entertaining. I remember the one here in 2019 in July. I was here. I especially remember it because it was the same day as the Women's World Cup final that year where the U.S. was playing Netherlands, and they opened up Mercedes-Benz Stadium here a few hours early so you could go in and actually watch that final. And that match was drunken. It was incredibly drunken and ended up being 3-3. And I think they had 2 goals that were scored in stoppage time just to keep the draw. So those teams hated each other. Orlando has just always been kind of like a whatever. Mm-hmm. And now you've got Charlotte and Nashville that are kind of the two that we're trying to figure out who hates each other more,
I feel like Charlotte would be the principal rival. I mean, I saw somewhere on Twitter they were bringing 2,000 fans. That is an insane number of people. And I mean, obviously proximity plays into that. Yep. But I just feel like that the social media kind of stuff. I mean, you didn't really see that in the Orlando game necessarily. You saw it to a lesser extent with Nashville. I think Charlotte right now is the principal rival, and we're gonna see. I mean, I remember last year when Charlotte came to town, and their fans were literally right below the press box. Yeah. Every goal, you got just an earful of them 100%. Celebrating in your house, and I think that's got to hurt. Right now, the record is actually 2-2. Right? Charlotte's won 2, Atlanta's won 2. Each one has won home and away. Different years. So this is kind of the tiebreaker right now. So it's up to Atlanta, really. I know you just beat Miami, but now you got to come bring a win to your fans, right? You got to break the losing streak at home, which used to be your fortress. You got to make it your fortress again, and no better time to do it than against your rivals who are visiting and bringing 2,000 plus fans. Yeah. Your goal is to keep them silent this entire game. Keep them silent.
Yeah, that's my big thing. Miami's in the past. I mean, that's a big win, obviously, for the mentality of the team, but can you build on it? And, if they lose today and they don't get a favorable result today, no one's going to remember Wednesday. They're going to look at, that's probably a fluke win for Atlanta United. They have to respond. They have to, like you said, Henry, silence this crowd and really show that they're ready to turn the corner. I hate that the international break is right after this, so you don't really get to carry out that momentum. You have to wait till your next match, but at the same time, you still have to come out and respond. it's just so critical that this team responds. Do similar to what you did, and I know it's kind of a elementary kind of thing to say, but do what you did on Wednesday. Do what you did on Wednesday against Miami. Wednesday was the best start they've had this season to a match, I think, in a while.
I would even go back to last year. They had good matches last year, the end of the season especially, but I think the way that they came out on this one was like they had something to prove, against Miami. And, I mean, I'll take a fluky win against Lionel Messi and Busquets and all those guys all day, but, yeah. You've got to carry that momentum over. And it does always seem like Atlanta has this really, really unlucky, I guess, habit of they'll build some momentum and then there's a break.
Right.
And everything,
exactly.
You kind of reset during the break. And it is what it is. Who knows what kind of changes we might see during this international break, but you've got to win. You have to start winning games, and you especially have to start winning games here at the Benz because you can't go 5 in a row at home and lose. A draw is not good enough today, but a loss is unacceptable.
And I think you're also entering a stretch of games for about the next couple of months where you're going to be missing people due to all these different international competitions. You've got, the friendlies that are coming up in this window. You've got Copa America, the Euros. You've got the Olympics. You've got Leagues Cup. You've got so many things that are just lining up where you're going to be missing several players, among them like Caleb Wiley, Noah Cobb, Luis Abram is probably gone with Peru, Bartosz Slish and Saba are both gone with, Poland and Georgia respectively. Almada is gone for the Olympics. I mean, you're going to be missing all these different, players. And so it's just, you need to win these games where you have most of your roster intact. I mean, there's 2 players on the availability report, right? It's just Tyler Wolff and Slish. This is a game where you have most of your guys ready and available. You got to get the result. And the other thing that I wanted to bring up, we have to talk about it. Are we still on Pineda watch?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Why not?
I mean, I feel like on Wednesday you saw enough where you can make a case for keeping him. I mean, Sam Jones did a great job writing about this, writing about all the injuries at FightStrikeFinal.com. And while injuries, you can't use them as an excuse, obviously. Every team has them. When you look at the injuries that Atlanta United has had, they've really stacked up. That being said, now that guys are coming back into the team, now that they're getting healthy, starting to see a little bit of improvement. The attack was still kind of rough against LAFC, but at the same time, the goal they gave up was really you couldn't prevent against Bogish. And I don't want to talk about the call. You don't
want to go off on refereeing?
A 9-game winless streak that you break with this Miami game. But again, we were talking, is that a fluke?
Yeah. I mean,
like what happens if you lose tonight? Are you back on Pineda watch?
I think if they lose, I don't think he's getting fired during the break if they lose, but I think you start to think about, okay,
so
what are your options?
All right, so I guess here's my thing. Y'all know my feelings on Pineda. I've made it very clear. I like Pineda. I like him a lot. I like him as a person. But I don't care what team you are in this world. If you have any aspirations to be a legitimate club or sports team in any sport, you can't have a losing streak or a winless streak, I guess we'll call it, like you've had recently. And one game can't fix that, in my opinion. I would love for everything to just go right and it click with this entire team, with the coaching staff, and it be smooth sailing from here on out, because I don't want to have to go through the ups and downs of a new manager and bring in all that. I don't want to do that. But I think we're past the point where you can say that this is like a revolving door. I mean, this coaching staff has had time. The ideas have been there. The ideas maybe just haven't been executed the way that I think everybody expected them to be executed. But that one match can't fix what happened before. And today, while it could put you back in the right direction, and it might buy a little bit of time, I don't know. If you go out and you lose or draw today, I think you're still looking back at that Miami match and exactly what you said, Henry. You're looking at it as, again, kind of fluky. And that's unfortunate. You've got to start stringing together some consistent, really good results.
One of the things that has been a little bit underrated is Atlanta United's defense. I mean, we talked about the goal against LAFC, the goal against Miami. That was just a moment of brilliance from Messi, really. Other than that, outside of whatever happened against DC United in Benteke, that's a match I rather talk about.
I mean, you put a guy that's a Golden Boot potential winner up against a teenager.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. But since Deion Gregerson has come back into the team, since Derek Williams has come back into the team, it's just noticeable how much better this defense has been, how much more organized. Again, we talked about the attack before Wednesday just being a mess, but this defense has been very stout. Now, can they get that attack consistently running? They got 3 goals against Miami. What's that next step, though, after that?
It's just clearly your best center back pairing is Deion Gregerson and Derek Williams. And you see it when they're on the field. They give you aerial superiority. They give you just very committed tackles. They're very smart defenders. They have more experience. I mean, Deion Gregerson's what, like 20, 28, something like that?
I believe so, yeah.
And then Derek Williams, I know, is like 30, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a whole lot more experience than Noah Cobb, who's like 18, 17, and Efren Morales, who's 20.
Yeah.
So, for sure, I mean, having them back has been very important. So yeah, I mean, I think when your defense, and I said this on the show, I believe, in the middle of the week, when your defense is secure, when you trust your defense, the rest of the team just works. Because you know, I mean, you've got solid people at the back. You don't have to worry about, stuff going wrong back there. Also, the good thing about Deion and Derek is that they play the ball very well, right?
Yeah.
They pass the ball really well. They help you build out of the back. So no, I mean, I think it's good to have them back, and that could help. But I don't know. I feel like we're still on the Pineda watch. And the other thing about Pineda watch, coaching watch, is that there's a lot of interesting head coaching options available right now.
Gary Smith.
The European season has just ended. The European seasons have just ended. You have a lot of choices. Xavi Hernandez. That's my top candidate.
That's a big one.
Xavi Hernandez. But, I mean, Marcelo Gallardo, whose son plays for Atlanta United too. Tell me there's not some appeal there, right? David Moyes, who coached West Ham. I mean...
No.
Okay. Pochettino.
Thomas Tuchel.
And I only say, no. For the love of all things, no.
Pochettino, yeah.
Pochettino. I only say that because Chelsea will fire anybody at the drop of a hat, so he could be available like any day. So we'll see. I am curious.
Isn't Pochettino already gone?
Is he gone? Did he actually get?
He got sacked.
Yeah. Well, see,
Chelsea already had to go.
Point exactly. They just drop people like flies. I'm curious, the Charlotte fans, what they thought of Dean over the short time that he's been here, because he's come in, he's integrated a system that I think it's improved for Charlotte. I think if you ask many Charlotte fans, they're going to look at this as they have a lot of the building blocks, but they don't have that one guy. They don't have that one superstar right now. And today they're dealing with a couple of injuries, but just overall, in the little bit that you guys have seen Charlotte this season, what do you think of them?
I think they're a very solid team. They've got definitely better players at the moment. I think this offseason, I didn't really expect much of them. They had a whole situation with their DPs where just like every single one got like booted from the club. Karol Swiderski, who was their best DP, loaned out. It looks like he might be coming back. And then you've just got kind of a new roster of several players. Adelson Milanda has been fantastic. I have him on my fantasy team. But no, he's been fantastic for Charlotte. And Dean Smith has definitely changed the way this club looks, and it shows kind of in their results. So I don't know. They've been very solid defensively for the most part this season. They've struggled to produce offensively. Their lead scorer, Patrick Ajiman, has I believe 3 goals, which, I mean, your top scorer at this point having 3 goals is not great, numbers. Right. It shows you don't You don't really have that much great attacking production, but you never know. You can't be too careful, right? So you got to watch yourself. I trust this Atlanta side with this back line that they have of Derek Williams and Steon Gregerson. But we'll see. I think Charlotte is you can't underestimate them. Don't respect them too much, but don't underestimate them.
Guys with the name of Dean Smith that have been involved in North Carolina sports have traditionally had very good success.
They have indeed. They have indeed.
No, but the thing about Charlotte, kind of mentioned that Henry, they can't score. They just have struggled to score. I think there's like a string of 3 0-0 matches that they played. I'll have to check their schedule, but scoring has just been a challenge for this team for a while, and Henry talked about it just a little bit. So, as good as they've been defensively, is that going to be a tough ask for Atlanta to put multiple goals up tonight? But at the same time, though, offense, I feel like this favors Atlanta United offensively. So I don't want this to be like a 0-0 match or anything like that.
I highly doubt it will be.
But I mean, it very well could be, though. Just considering.
I don't think so. Honestly, I think this Atlanta offense is going to be re-energized, recharged, especially with the result from midweek. You know, you have Almada, who was in very good form against Miami, and I think is going to carry that on into this game. Giakoumakis, who is, coming back. This could potentially be his last game in Atlanta. I don't know. I mean, I think you're going to see a show today. Saba, who is on incredible form, he's motivated. We got a brace in the last game. I think you're going to see a supercharged Atlanta offense, and they're going to be motivated to bring another win at home, to start the win streak, to get things going, because you need that right now. You're going to carry the momentum into this game, and I think you're going to see that in Atlanta's goals.
So last few matches Charlotte has played. The last match on Wednesday got blown out, or they lost to Red Bulls. Well, not blown up, but they lost to Red Bulls 3-1. 2 matches before that were 0-0, both at home against LA Galaxy and Philadelphia. Before that, 1-0 against Chicago on the road, and then 1-0 against Nashville. So this team, from a defensive standpoint, has been good outside that Red Bulls match where they gave up 3. So,
okay. I don't know.
Are you guys about to do shots here?
Yep. Yeah, no, I was putting that off until we get a little further in the conversation.
Okay.
But yeah, no, again, shout out to the bar and shout out to the bartenders, because these drinks are off the chain. So if you haven't had one, whatever you want.
You were lining up shots.
I know, it looks like we're having a totally different kind of podcast up here. The Crown and Coke was amazing. I've had a sip of the old fashioned, and it's really, really good.
I have a chili dog. I don't know if y'all can see this, by the way. Let's talk about
we'll
the
show
food
off the
offering
food.
there where
Here.
we're at.
Show
chili dog,
show the
fries.
camera here. Let's bring it closer.
There we go.
There we go. Look at that.
Yeah,
It's
chili dog
a
with
massive
mustard,
chili dog.
spicy mustard. Got a little kick to it. Cheese. Fantastic.
And I got, in honor of our good friend Yorgos Giakoumakis, who may or may not be here much longer, I got
Pour one out.
it's a chicken sandwich, but it's got a tzatziki sauce on it. So, R.I.P. Giakoumakis, if you're on your way out, man.
R.I.P. He's not dead.
One
No,
thing.
but it feels like he is, man.
Imagine if Atlanta United end up facing Cruz Azul in Leagues Cup.
Don't put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
How would that? Oh gosh, I don't want to think about it.
You know what? I'm really.
But don't.
I'm gonna do it, Sydney. I am so proud of you to
Why?
have the cojones to eat a hot dog on live
Yeah.
camera.
I don't have any other. I don't have any other to eat.
I don't know. Look, I applaud you, sir. I applaud you. Good for you, buddy. No, that would be amazing. And here we go. Talking about food. Here's their mac and cheese.
Yeah, tilt to show the camera.
I'm trying to pick it up. It's heavy. It's in that skillet.
Looks
There you
good.
go. So.
Oh,
Drop
it's
it on the
delicious.
laptop.
I know, right? Pour it all over. There goes the feed. There goes the last bit of scarves and spikes. No, I know we're jumping all over the place. We're doing these shows. Obviously, today we have 2 for Copa America here at the Bins on June 20th and June 27th. So if you watching this after the fact, watching it now, you're not here, come back out. But the food up here is amazing. The drinks are amazing. The bartenders are great. So definitely come out, check them out, hang out.
And you get a great view.
And you get a great view of the bins for sure. So
I know we've been jumping around a little bit,
that's okay. That's what we do.
but back
Never
to
look
Atlanta
around.
United versus Charlotte, the game that we're about to witness shortly. There is a player on Atlanta United's roster who is about to face his former club, Daniel Rios, the newest member of the Five Stripes. He played for Charlotte. He scored, I believe, 13 goals, if my memory is
He had a good
correct.
run. He had a good run in Charlotte.
Across all competitions with Charlotte, facing his former club. What do we think about that?
I think TRA starts. Well, no. I'm sorry. TRA doesn't start. Yakamaka starts. But I think maybe you bring in Rios later on if you need a goal. Maybe you go to that dual striker setup that Pineda has talked about numerous times that he'll like to run out. That's only if he needs to. I think he'll just so willy-nilly. But I don't know if we see Daniel tonight unless they really, really need him. Maybe gives a little bit of a wrinkle or a tactical advantage, slight, not a lot, but Pineda talked about it when they played Nashville, when Dax and Danielle both played for them. He said, he asked them a little bit about the team, what they like to do, their tactical mindset, things like that. I think he kind of did the thing with Danielle leading up to the match, but again, I don't think it really will give them that much more of a technical advantage than he would if he wasn't on the roster. So all that to say, I don't think we see him tonight.
I don't know.
Sure.
I kind of would like to see him get the start. Honestly, I think there's a little bit of a psychological thing to it, but also you had Tiare who played a ton recently. He's on short-ish rest, and then you have Yakamakis who's coming off an injury. I think he's far enough beyond the injury at this point, though, that if he doesn't start, I think it tells you something more than just, he's not starting because of injury or whatever. I think if he doesn't start tonight, that kind of lends a little bit more credence to the word that's been going around on the street.
Look at Almada, right? He was on the bench the game before, was it Miami or LA? It was the LAFC game he was on the bench for. And then he started midweek against Miami. Well, he was on the bench for the Miami game. If he doesn't start this game, I mean, I definitely agree with you. I think it says a little bit more about, other things regarding him rather than just his injury.
Yeah, I agree. I think, and we're going back to Yakamakis, right? We're going back to Atlanta star striker. If all this started as agent speak, right, as an agent just trying to do the job and get his client some more money, that's totally fine. Totally fine. As long as Yakamakis was okay with going to Cruz Azul or whatever club that he was trying to get a little bit more money out of, fine. I mean, the guy's got to get paid. If that's what he wants to get paid, if that's where he wants to go, and he's okay with it, dude, I wish you the best of luck. I really do. The agent clearly did a good job. So if he gets paid, he gets paid, whether it's here, whether it's in Mexico. That is what it is. But I know for a fact that at the end of the day, what he was looking for was more money.
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong with that.
Like I said, if you were healthier, he'd probably get more than that. Maybe not too much more, but
yeah, I mean, you could bump it up to 12, maybe. But ultimately, he's wanting to get paid more. And so this is one of those transactions where it's got to be favorable for everybody. It's not just one or the other, right? It's got to be favorable for the player, the club, the other club. So, but yeah, I think it's very telling, though, tonight. If he doesn't get the start, then yes.
So question from Omar, would GG celebrate his goal against us in the dreaded Cruz
better not.
Atlanta United face-off?
He better not. He better not.
Inside the Benz.
He better not. I don't think so. I think he's got enough respect. I mean, I like the guy. I really do. I think
if he scored against Celtic, I think he'd celebrate.
If he scored against, I think
if he scored against Spurs, he'd celebrate.
Yeah, if he scored against somebody with the last name of Postacoglu, then he would probably celebrate immensely.
Yeah, but I don't think he has any qualms with Atlanta United right now. I don't think he has any issues.
Right.
Like if it were up to him and the money were there, I think he would choose to stay here.
Yeah.
It's just he's looking yeah, it's business. He's a player, a really good player who wants more money. He's free to do that. I mean, more power to him. Yeah. So, best of luck to him, except when he faces Atlanta United.
What does that say, though, about sort of the budget limitations that MLS teams have versus what Liga MX teams have? Because I feel like if Gigi were healthy, Atlanta United would be more motivated to give him an extension. That being said, I feel like Cruz Azul could pay him a lot more money if they don't have those shackles that MLS teams have.
Yeah, but I mean, he's a DP. So at the end of the day, it's not like he's going from a non-DP to a DP status. Like if Atlanta was that serious about making sure he stayed here, then I think they're going to throw the money bags at him regardless, because it's not like you're having to move any sort of roster, whatever name or type here. Just give him more money. Now, if we were going from a TAM player to a DP player, then that would totally be a valid conversation, I think.
You're getting double the money for him, though.
Yeah.
You're getting more than twice what you paid for him initially. That's great business, honestly.
Yeah, I agree.
You could use that money, if it is $10 million, which is the number that's being floated around. I mean, add $5 million to that. That's Antoine Griezmann's release clause. That's all I'm saying.
This man, I'm telling you, he's on a one-man mission to bring in Antoine Griezmann. He's going to make it happen.
Hire me.
More Charlotte fans. Charlotte fans, what's up?
Hi.
Charlotte fans. He is from, talking about Griezmann, he's from Montcalm, France. We have Macon just down the road, so similar spelling, but different pronunciation, but same difference.
That's okay. He's got a couple of French friends here that he can come and hang out with.
Yumba, some people from the League 2 that have spent some time in France.
Yeah.
You could totally. You got a connection there.
By the way, totally off topic, but how about the almost official word? Mbappe's finally going to Madrid.
Yeah,
that finally seems to be a thing that's happening, according to Fabrizio Romano.
Did Real Madrid really need Kylian Mbappe?
No, but that's what you do when you're the best team in the world.
For free, dude.
Did you guys see that Barcelona tweeted out congratulations to Real Madrid?
We did, yeah, I saw that.
Everybody in Champions League.
Congratulations, FC.
Hell frozen over.
No, wait, but did y'all see another bit of news? Marco Reus reportedly in advanced talks with LA Galaxy, right? Wow. LAFC just signed Olivier Giroud, another superstar coming in from Europe, and now their rivals, the Galaxy, get in Marco Reus, adding to an already impressive roster. And mind you, Atlanta United has to go to LA Galaxy in the summer. Yeah. I am not looking forward to that. Unless, we get who.
Yeah, who? So go ahead and say it.
Antoine Griezmann.
Henry's pushing hard. It is a weird year. You're playing both LA teams. Of course, either one were always going to be difficult. But the Galaxy, with the way that they've been playing, that's going to be a tough one. That's going to be a very, very tough one.
Of course, you did just go beat Miami on the road. So
yes, I know. Like, what do we know about MLS? We can't predict anything.
Exactly. I will say this. RSL, though, kind of talking to other teams, RSL just ripped. They just went all over Austin FC last night, 5-0. Arango might be the best player in MLS at this point in time. Not named Messi.
Yes.
Thank you for adding that little addendum.
Yeah, always give me that caveat every time. Always give me that caveat.
No, but he's had a phenomenal season and just, shut it again last night, and Atlanta have to go there in the summer too, Henry. So
yes,
right before.
That's to remind me.
I think it's before. I forget it's before or after.
It's before, I think.
Before LA Galaxy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's the thing, right? Chicho, he was absolutely tearing it up at LAFC. They won. I don't know if it was a supporter shield or MLS Cup. I think it was MLS Cup that they won with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then inexplicably he gets sold. I don't know what possessed LAFC to sell Chicho Arango, but they did.
They were stacked. Again, MLS roster rules.
Well, yeah, but it's Chicho Arango. Do you see what he's doing right now?
I'm clear.
He's insane. And he's actually, before Giacomakis was signed, he was one of my favorites to come here. First of all, because he's Colombian, and Colombians are awesome. Second of all,
I'm a Colombia.
Second of all, because he knows how to score. He scores with his head. He scores with his feet. He scores. Yeah. He just has what they call a scent for goal, right?
Yeah.
And so, no, he's a fantastic player, and I think he's leading the Golden Boot race, isn't he? By a long shot.
He is. Yes, him and Benteke are at the top, I think.
Yeah.
And that tells you something when you're in the same league as Messi and Suarez, and he is and Chicho Arango is leading the Golden Boot race, right? It just he's an insane player, and I wish he was playing here in Atlanta.
Is it too early to say RSL the Western Conference title or RSL coming out for West for MLS Cup? Or
I want to see what happens with the summer moves because I feel like there's a lot of things that can change.
Yeah,
right? LA Galaxy making moves, LAFC making moves. I don't know. I want to say that RSL is definitely up there, but there's just too many unknowns at this point. LAFC could sign literally, who knows? At this point, they'd sign anyone coming from Europe. LA Galaxy, looking that direction as well. It's tough to say right now, but RSL right now are definitely the favorites.
Yeah, I agree. Take a quick second because we have a few Charlotte fans and Atlanta fans. We said it at the beginning. I see y'all, Charlotte.
We see you.
If y'all want to hop up here, give your thoughts on the match.
Give us your prediction.
Yeah, give your
Hot
predictions.
takes.
Hot takes. Anything not related to the water main break. Talk about Yorgos Yakimakis. The mic can be yours for a few minutes, and you're going to be live if you're okay with that.
Stand-up comedy.
Hey, don't be afraid. There's plenty of alcohol behind that counter that you should be unafraid. I'll tell you what.
Talk about the little social media battle.
You want a shot
in Charlotte?
Are you going to do a shot? You can say no.
I don't know.
Are you going to do a shot?
I'm not.
Okay.
You know what? Screw it.
Whoever wants to come up here, give their 5 minutes of fame or whatever, you can do a shot with me. It's a free shot, guys. I'm giving free alcohol away.
No one takes it, I will.
What are y'all doing? I know, right? Never mind. I'm not going to say that. Free alcohol. Free alcohol. All right, last call.
Tommy, our
No one
co-host.
takes the free alcohol?
Everybody on the chat right now is like, bring it to me.
Tommy, not here. Our co-host, by the way.
With Barry on his profile.
Take Atlanta United 2-1. Okay, I can go for that.
Colombia is the Atletico Madrid of South America. I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
They can't win trophies, I guess. It's the
Trying to figure out what it means.
connotation, as Bruno said.
Colombia is awesome.
Colombia is awesome. They just get win trophies.
Hey, that's changing this summer, though. We're undefeated. We're undefeated with this coach.
Henry is Colombian, by the way.
Mr. Lorenzo, we're undefeated. So, we just got to keep being undefeated until the end of Copa America.
They're not winning Copa America.
It's that easy.
Sure?
Yes.
I'll bet my beer.
You gonna bet your eyebrows?
No. I'm not brave enough for that.
So we've got, speaking of Copa America, let's jump into that real quick because that is our next show here, next two shows here actually. I know your obvious answer is Colombia, but besides Argentina, is there a particular favorite, considering the fact that we have North American teams in it this year?
Other than Argentina, probably Brazil.
That's probably the other obvious one.
Which happens to be in Colombia's group. I would also take a very, very serious look at Uruguay. Uruguay has a very good squad this year. Darwin Nunez has kind of developed a bit. I know we make fun of him on the internet. People make fun of him because he misses a sitter and all that other stuff. But
Darwin Nunez in the media match. Darwin
Nunez is he's a very good forward. And with this Uruguay squad, with the likes of Federico Valverde, with Ronald Araujo, you got a lot of quality in that squad all around. They're in the same group as the U.S., if I'm not mistaken. I have them as favorites going first in that group, going through first.
And who's their coach?
Do
you recall? Bielsa. Marcelo Bielsa. So, yeah, I mean, you put that guy in charge anywhere, and he's going to make the team better, right?
Yeah.
It still irritates me to this day that Atlanta did not do what they needed to do to get him here after Tata Martino. But, he's one of those guys that he's going to be very adamant about bringing in his guys for his roster. And at the time, Atlanta didn't want to give him that.
Guys, I interrupt this program to give you a little report from our friend Fabricio Romano. Official, Memphis Depay leaves Atletico Madrid as free agent. Now, hear me out.
Go ahead, sell us.
If things happen this week, What better price than free?
I mean, you're not wrong. So you would take him over Griezmann?
No.
I would not. I would
If
rather
it came down to getting one or the other at all.
Griezmann.
Okay.
I'd take Griezmann over Depay.
If Memphis went to reconcile with Steve Harvey's daughter, I mean, kind of MLS, I mean, they'd be in the same country at least. So.
That is true. That is true.
But no, going about Copa America, let's look at the groups. So, what do you guys predict? Who comes out of each group? So, let's start with Group A: Argentina, Canada, Chile, Peru. Who comes out of that? I say Argentina and probably Canada. To be honest with you, I mean that
because Chile and Peru aren't great. Canada did just hire Jesse Marsh.
Yeah, that's a real wild card.
I think. Yeah, I'm going to go with you there. I'm going to say Argentina and Canada just because I know Chile, an old team. They haven't really renovated. They haven't rejuvenated much. Peru kind of in the same boat. Yeah, I'm going to say
Mexico.
Argentina. I'm going to go Argentina, Canada.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Group B.
Which will be the opening match, by the way. Argentina, Canada.
Yep.
Right here.
Right here. Benz.
In the Benz.
Right behind us.
Come hang out with us beforehand and then go see that.
Ecuador, or Group B. Ecuador, Jamaica, Mexico, Venezuela. Say Ecuador and Mexico.
Don't sleep on Venezuela.
Jamaica could give.
Don't sleep on Venezuela.
A pretty good. It's Venezuela.
I'm not Venezuelan. I'm saying don't sleep on Venezuela.
I mean,
those are my two. If you had me pick, I'd say Ecuador and Venezuela. Just because Mexico has too many unknowns for me. I think they're in the middle of a coaching change. They've been.
Why are they not?
Yeah, right. They're pretty mid so far. And if you're not, I mean, and Venezuela has really surprised in CONMEBOL qualifiers for the World Cup. So I'm going to say Ecuador and Venezuela gives everyone a little surprise.
I'll still say Ecuador and Mexico. I got to give Mexico a little bit of respect.
Totally
as much
fair.
as I despise them.
Fair.
Group C, USA, Bolivia, Panama, Uruguay. I say Uruguay and I don't know. Gotta go with Panama.
Thinking about it, Panama.
I don't know if the U.S. can make it out there.
Oh, okay. I was going to say Uruguay and U.S. Interesting.
Yeah, Panama is a contender for sure.
Yeah, I agree, but I think the U.S. has more quality. I mean, Pulisic just had a fantastic season with AC Milan.
He's back to enjoying football again.
A lot of players, a lot of Americans abroad had some very good seasons, and I think that'll carry on. Uruguay, obviously, I think for me is just one of the favorites to potentially win Copa America. That's why I mentioned them earlier. So that's why I think they're going through first. But I think USA is a strong candidate for second place.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm on the same boat. I mean, Panama could sneak in, though. I wouldn't count them out at all.
And they Group D, Colombia, Costa Rica, Paraguay, Brazil, and Colombia. All the Paraguay could have something to say about that. What's that?
Who goes first? I need you to be careful here. You look me in the eyes when you say this.
I could see it being tied, but Colombia probably slightly a goal differential. Win the group.
Oh boy.
Colombia and Brazil. Those are my two picks.
100%.
Colombia first, because I gotta.
I mean, you can't not say that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just like I can't not say that the USA should be above Uruguay, but I mean,
there we are.
No, I think Colombia and Brazil as well. I mean, you don't ever count out Brazil, obviously. That would be stupid. But I do think Colombia's got enough talent to knock out. I mean, Costa Rica is one of those teams too, though, that can appear out of left field and just completely piss off the rest of that group. Yeah. But I still don't think they make it out.
And Paraguay will appear Paraguay shows up for big games. Right, and so whenever they're the underdog, they will show up for those games, and Brazil's learned that lesson before, and Colombia's learned that lesson before. So, yeah, I think Paraguay could give some surprises. I still have Colombia and Brazil as the firm favorites to go through from that group.
So, is that your dark horse for the entire tournament, Paraguay, or just for
dark horse? No, dark horse for the entire tournament. Well, actually. Yeah, okay. We'll do that. I'll say my dark horse is Paraguay. Because you never know. I don't think they'll make it very far, but you never know. If they're inspired, they might.
For me, it's Uruguay. Because I still think
I don't think Uruguay's a dark horse.
They're just not proven yet, though. I mean, I know they have a lot of things going right for them, but they haven't really proved themselves in a big tournament yet since all those changes.
Yeah.
Sure, I just don't see them as like a true dark horse.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I'd known that was an option, I would have said Uruguay. But yeah.
Well, I know that I also didn't pick them, I think, to get out of the group, but I think you got to give some respect to Panama, too.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'll probably say Uruguay as well. As a kind of dark horse. I don't think they'll win, but I mean, if the pieces fall, I mean, they're in a group of the USA, Panama, Bolivia, so they should get out. And then let the chips fall where they may. I haven't seen the knockout stage bracket, so I guess that kind of depends who they play in the knockout stage, how that bracket looks. But I mean, they could make a run. Bruno say Peru. They always show up in Copa America. So
Well, hey, Bruno, he has to say that.
yeah,
Well, yeah,
Like,
it's like
we
I
have-
have to say Colombia.
Yeah, and I have to say the U.S. But he's not wrong, though. I mean, again, this is also one of those tournaments where, I mean, you have your expected favorites, right? You have your obvious guys, your obvious teams, but this is like the World Cup,
Yep.
right? And in a sense, for a lot of these South American countries. So
yeah.
you can't just chalk anybody up as a team that's just not going to make it because everybody's going to be bringing their A game, and they do. Though some are stronger than others, they all have the talent to turn a game on its head at any given time.
I mean, look, anything can happen in these tournaments. You can never really. I mean, you think you have the favorites nailed down, and then Morocco gives you a surprise.
Right.
Makes it to like the
Right.
semifinal.
Right.
Like anything can happen, and I think that's the beauty of soccer. That nothing is truly like written down. The underdog can totally win and steal a game out of nowhere.
So speaking of the beauty of soccer, have you recovered from the media game yet?
Well, I'm standing here, aren't I?
That's not saying anything. I'm standing here too, and I feel like I'm about to die.
I mean, I'm still a little bit sore.
That's how you guys were feeling.
I'll admit I am a little bit sore, but that trophy, man, it was
Kiss?
all worth it.
Yeah, that trophy lift, man, it wasn't that heavy.
In case you guys missed it, anyone watching, in case you missed it, we linked it to our socials. Pineda with an absolute
Screamer.
Banger.
from midfield to open the
The
match.
kickoff. Unbelievable.
Who got the assist on the kickoff?
Jackson.
Jackson.
What did he do?
Our
He just tapped it
guy.
to Pineda.
Tapped it
Our
over to
guy.
a Mexican international player, and he just put it in the back of the net.
Hashtag Pineda in.
Definitely was.
I think it's funny though because since then, all the media, everybody's been coming out with their own like highlight reels, right? Like their skills and highlights and these little bits and pieces where you might have looked cool for about 5 seconds, but you had 5 seconds of fame, and that's what the media game is all about.
And then you had the likes of Mike Conti and Jason Longshore either
Going.
admiring you or completely making fun of you.
Yep. To have the Atlanta United radio announcers just saying, "Hey, look at this guy. Looks like he's running in
Just dogging
quicksand."
everybody. Just dogging everybody.
Putting Tyler Pilgrim and Maradona in the same sentence.
Yeah, I never had that on my bingo card. I don't care if I was compared
We'll
negatively.
take it.
Put that on your resume.
Bruno asking, when is the parade?
That's a good question. We should have really set this up. Even if it's just a float down through the backyard.
Right.
We had talked about going to Henry's store, to give your store a shout out, to get like a scarves and spikes patch put on the sleeve of these kits and a star put over the top of the logo. I'm down.
Soccer
Hey.
shop. Show up. Put your name and
Why
number
not?
and patches on stuff. And we also sell stuff.
Don't put Yakimakis though.
Right.
Don't put
You
Yakimakis.
can always just cover you could cover it up with Griezmann, right?
Can you cover it up? Can y'all rip it off and put another one on?
Actually, there is a way to do it.
Oh, well, there you go.
It does leave a little bit of a mark, but you can. There is in theory a way to take those numbers and names off.
Okay. I see it. I learned something new today.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
There
Trade
you go.
secret. Yep.
There you go. What are you guys' predictions for today? I know Tommy said 2-1 in the chat.
3-1 Atlanta.
3-1?
3-1 Atlanta.
Okay. I was going to say, I was going to agree with Tommy 2-1. 2-1.
I'll give you mine, but I'm still waiting on somebody to come up here and get a free shot and give their prediction on camera. Free shot.
Really going to turn down a free shot.
Free shot.
Unbelievable.
Shot. Nobody. Man,
Last chance.
also don't want to be drunk going into the press box, guys. Help me out a little bit.
Have to hold Tyler back.
Right.
I might come out of the window. Again, free shot. All you gotta do is come give a prediction. I'm gonna go 2-0 Atlanta.
Okay.
I mean the defense, it's kind of hard to bet against them at this point. Charlotte has struggled to score goals. You got to hope that the momentum carries over from Miami. And I think they can pull out a solid, like, not profound, nothing just extravagant, but a solid win at home that they desperately need.
Here are the goals, though. Okay, we're gonna have some
goals.
firsts. We're gonna have some firsts today, right? Thiago Almada free kick goal.
Okay.
That's number 1. Number 2.
Okay.
Stian Gregerson off a corner kick.
Oh.
Okay, then.
Okay.
Haven't scored a set piece.
Okay.
And then we'll just do Saba just from wherever, like
Staying
outside
in
the
form.
box.
Okay.
Yeah. Those are my 3.
Because he's on one right now.
Exactly.
I like it.
I say
Saba time.
GG from the spot and Almada.
GG from the spot in Almada.
Okay. I will go Almada in the run of play. So from the run of play. And I will say, who do I want the other one to be? I'm going to say Saba as well.
Okay.
Because he's been on one. I think he finally broke the floodgates.
The man in form, staying in
There you
form.
go.
Okay.
I know, said no
I
jokes.
know we said no jokes about the water main break, but fine. Free shots still available, people.
You're trying very hard.
Trying to give away free alcohol up here.
Who doesn't like free alcohol?
I know it's hard to believe, but none of us have had shots since the show started. Tyler had a crown and coat.
They're here. I'm just waiting on somebody to come do one with me.
We're waiting on lineups, by the way, so it's a little bit of a later kickoff. I think 4:55 is the time, since it'll be on Big Fox. Of course, MLS Season Pass will be covering it, as always, but it's on Big Fox. So Fox 5 if you're here in Atlanta, or your local Fox station, wherever you're watching on that MLS Season Pass. But lineups might be out a little bit later than usual. Usually come out like an hour before actual kickoff, so we'll see maybe if they come out next few minutes anyway, but yeah, that's the word as far as kickoffs are concerned.
So what's your predicted lineup?
I think so. I know some have said that Cohen should start on Sunday, and I disagree. I mean, granted, Cohen was terrific in place of Guzan, but just not to be a prisoner of the moment. I think Guzan still is the number 1 keeper for this team. I think he does start today. Just my opinion. Just my opinion.
Until he proves otherwise.
Because he hasn't been bad this season.
Yeah.
He hasn't been bad. I think defensively, you pretty much do the same thing. Other than that, I think you maybe start Yakimakis though.
Unless he's going to Mexico.
Yeah, exactly.
If he's not on the lineup at all, then
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
Exactly. But I feel outside of that, you don't make any changes to the lineup.
You would run
That's
three
like
at the
magic.
back again?
Yeah, I mean, if it ain't broke, right? Yeah, go 3 in the back.
They'll fix it.
Maybe you do some technical wrinkles here and there based on what Charlotte brings out themselves. But if it ain't broke, they'll fix it. The same you did, essentially.
Yeah, I agree. It's one of those. It's very interesting, right? Because it should be, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't necessarily want to see them go back to a back 4, but I think if you're going to do it against any team, it's going to be this one because they're not scoring goals. So you do get typically more of your production out of having a back 4 and getting your guys forward because Charlotte's going to come in here and they're going to bunker. That's what they're going to do. I would be shocked if they didn't. However, with the way that this team has played in the 9 matches before Miami, I agree. I don't think you come out and change much of anything. I do agree that Brad's going to start. I think that as much as I would like to see Cohen start, not because Brad's done anything wrong, I think from my perspective, it's just he had a great game. Let him continue it. Give Brad another game of rest, and then he has the whole international break to rest even more, and let him come back strong.
One thing that I was curious about in the last game was Almada getting the armband. I wonder if, did Pineda see in him, leadership kind of thing?
So that was asked at the training ground the other day. And his answer was multifaceted because he mentioned some of it had to do with we felt like giving Almada that extra little bit of responsibility, that extra little bit of leadership capability would he didn't say these words, but it was essentially get him out of the funk, right? Like get him more involved in the game and give him a sense of pride. But also he's playing against his fellow countryman in Lionel Messi.
And the best player in the world.
Exactly. Big source of pride. But he said ultimately, like it comes down to the captain's going to go to the one best suited for the match because he wants to do what's best suited for the team as a whole. And I think if you look at everything that was made, or the decisions that were made in that game, I mean, all the strings were pulled correctly by Atlanta, and that includes giving Almada the armband. And, whatever the reason was behind it, whether it was just motivation, whether you felt like he was the leader, whatever, it unlocked something for this team, and it did really well for you. So don't change it.
I think Pineda said the past two tenure with the team. I feel like maybe Lennon would have been a good choice to wear the armband as well.
That's who I assumed would.
Or Williams, Derek Williams. Granted, he just came into the team this year, but he's old enough to have that responsibility. Pineda has said there are like 2 or 3 guys who have shown leadership qualities. One of them is younger. He didn't say who it was. And we can speculate who it was, of course, but I don't know, maybe Almada is one of those players that he didn't mention. Him or Cobb.
Yeah, and he did say that Almada was one of the ones that was on that leadership team that he mentioned earlier in the season with Brooks, with Yakimakis, with Brad Gazan, those kind of guys. So it was a concerted effort to, have him be a leader from the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And I think this is the first time that you've actually seen it come out, at least on the pitch. And what did I say a couple of weeks ago? I wanted to see Almada be a more of a vocal leader on the pitch. He's one of the more veteran players on the team in terms of his tenure here. Right. But also he's arguably, I don't think it's much of an argument, but the most talented. So I think it does something for especially a kid because he's a kid still. Yeah. To give him that extra little bit of, responsibility.
He already captains the U23s for Argentina. Yep. He's going to captain them at the Olympics. I think here we just didn't really assume that he was on that kind of leadership group because he is relatively, at least with us, with media, he's a relatively quiet person, right? You go into the locker room and he'll answer your questions, but he's still kind of a quiet guy. But yeah, he must be showing those capabilities in training, and ultimately, what better person than the coach to kind of make those decisions? Yeah, person who's involved every day with these players and can clearly tell, okay, yeah, this guy has what it takes. This guy has these qualities which make him a better captain, a better leader than perhaps these other players. And it also depends on the game. So yeah, I think a wise decision, even though we kind of questioned it at first, but I think it also motivated him. That Pineda, that the team had kind of the faith in him to choose him as the captain, right? And he showed, hey, I can take that burden, right? And I can run with it, and I can do this. So yeah, good on him, and that's kind of why I want to see him wear the armband. But if Gazan's here, obviously, Gazan will wear the armband. But if Almada could wear the armband again, I think that'd be huge.
But yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like from a man management perspective, not even related to soccer, but sometimes it takes giving somebody that extra little bit of responsibility to motivate them to do, to live up to what it is that they're capable of. And we know that Almada is capable of everything he did against Miami on Wednesday on a consistent basis because he was pretty consistent with it last year. He just hasn't been that way this year. And if all it took was giving that man the armband to unlock what this team needed, dude, give him the armband again.
That and some rest. Yeah, because the guy had been playing nonstop for months now. You finish your season with Atlanta United, you're off to play with Argentina's U23s and all that, and then you come back from that, back into the season, you have 0 preseason, you're just thrust into a million different things. This injury was actually the first break that he's actually had. And Pineda mentioned it, he was exhausted mentally, and that they were planning to give him a break. And he was forced to have that break due to the injury. And look at the results it yields. definitely a break he needed, a break he deserved, and it's a good thing that he got it.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Exactly.
It's difficult from I mean, we talked about it the other day at the media match, but like, it's such an underrated thing that people, commentators and everybody can say in terms of, oh, they're running on tired legs, they have short rest, this, that, and the other. But that is a real thing. Your legs just don't work the same when you've been running nonstop. And it can be a very mental thing too, because you get out there and you know that you're capable of making this shot, making this run, making this pass, whatever, but your legs just aren't cooperating with you. And for Almada to have essentially played all the way through the MLS offseason and then into this season, and to now have that break, like you said, like this is, it wasn't a long break. It felt like forever, but sometimes that's all you need, especially at his age. Recovery is a little bit quicker. I like it.
But
Yeah,
it is
you're
said
not
that
100%, and you start like scuffing the passes. You hit them short or you hit them too long. Your shots go wide; they're not going where they're supposed to go. That's totally legitimate.
Yeah.
Pineda said in the past that Almada would, paraphrasing, run something to the ground if you let him.
Yep.
But I mean, if you're a player like him, he does need that rest. He does need that breather in order to keep him from doing some serious damage to himself. It's good that he can play like that just consistently, but maybe that's why he hasn't been in the form that he's been in previously, because of what we were just talking about just now. So hopefully with that breather, he can be the player that we know he can be, and we saw a lot of that on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
So
Lineup should be dropping any second now, I think.
any second now.
So again, for the fifth time, anybody that wants a free shot, you just got to come up here and give your prediction, guys. Free shot. I see all Atlanta United fans over there. All you got to do is come get on the mic for 5 seconds, and
You're
get
thinking
a free
about
shot.
it. They're definitely thinking about it.
Thinking about it. I see the gears
Considering it,
at least give us
I can tell you're
at least give a
considering it.
prediction. At least give a prediction.
Just a prediction.
Yeah. You don't even have to
Can't
take
hurt.
a shot. Just give a prediction.
There's free alcohol.
Come on. Don't be shy. You don't even have to come on camera if you don't want to.
Yeah.
I'll hold the mic. I'll even come to you.
You got a Tyler
Anybody?
Pilgrim handshake. Nothing better.
Nobody? Still nobody? I mean, even if you're not a soccer fan, guys, it's free alcohol. What do I have to do here? Like, there's like people on our live stream right now. Like,
I
what
know.
are y'all doing? Here we go. Are you the brave soul? Are you the brave soul?
Come on.
Yes.
There we go.
Give him a round of applause. Woo! I know, right? They're up here trying to give it away. So, are you an Atlanta fan? Are you a soccer fan? Or are you just here?
I hope so.
Oh no, are you a Philly fan? Or are you just from Philly? Oh my God. Go back.
Big mistake. That's why I didn't come.
That got everybody hyped up. Okay. Okay,
There you go.
thank God.
What's
All
up?
right.
Hi.
Just throw a prediction out there.
2-1 Atlanta.
Okay. What's your name?
Good answer.
Chris, I'm Chris. From
Chris.
What's up,
Okay,
Chris?
Chris from Philly. Chris from Philly. We appreciate it. We have Crown, and then we have, I forget what bourbon that is. So take your pick.
I like a mystery bourbon.
Okay, mystery bourbon it is. All right. Bottoms up, buddy.
Cheers.
Didn't think I was going to be doing a shot with a guy from Philly today.
I mean,
There we go.
all right.
Right down the hatch.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Tyler finally got rid of that shot.
I know. Now, please go subscribe on YouTube.
Yes.
We appreciate it.
Lineups.
2-1 Atlanta. I like it.
Are they out?
Yes,
I think I would
sir.
never agree with anybody from Philly, but
All right.
Hold
It
on.
is-
Hold on. You can get
Oh
it on
my
the screen.
God.
You can get it on the screen.
Oh, look at that.
All right. So
Let's talk about this.
no changes.
There's not
it
a
looks
single
like,
change in this
Not a
lineup.
from
single change.
Wednesday.
Same as against Miami.
Interesting.
An unchanged 11.
Well, I said if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I didn't really mean that, but hey,
Literally,
whatever.
man.
Like, this dude said, we're copy pasting everything from Wednesday.
So yeah, back to a back three. It looks like it's gonna be a freaking 5. I want to say it's a
5-2-3.
Yeah, it's an interesting formation.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think in this game, it's going to end up being more of a 3-4-3.
Probably more like a 3-4-3 because Lennon and Wiley will be operating as wing backs. Josh Cohen starts in goal. You heard that right.
Yeah.
Josh Cohen starts in goal. Guzan on the bench. The greatest Josh Cohen fan is having the time of his life right now. Man, Almada with the armband, as we were just talking about.
And I got Tiare right.
And Tiare starts. Giacomakis is on the bench.
So you're going to have Wiley and Lennon playing as true wingers in this match because Charlotte is they're going to bunker, right? You're going to need this extra numerical superiority. If you break them down.
Do we know Charlotte's lineup yet? Let me see.
What's
Their lineups?
Checking.
Not out yet.
Not yet?
Not yet.
Cool. Okay. But a lot of teams have played a back three against Atlanta, and Atlanta struggled against that. So you definitely do want to get numbers forward. So to your point, you are going to want Wiley and Lennon to go forward frequently. Lennon delivering those crosses into the box. Wiley's crosses have gotten really good.
Yep.
Tiare's goal came from a Wiley cross.
Mm.
Yeah, just get forward, overload on the flanks, and that's how you're going to create your chances. Hopefully Almada has a game again. A fantastic game.
Yeah. Sydney, thoughts?
A little surprised that it's the same lineup as it was on Wednesday, but like I said earlier, if you're able to don't fix it, I thought there'd be at least a wrinkle or two for the match today, but we'll see if it works. We'll see if Saba can stay in form. We'll see if Almada can level up what he did on Wednesday. He was terrific Wednesday. William Bob, see if he can clean up some of the mistakes. And that back three was terrific on Wednesday too. So, hopefully more of the same today, including a win, including 3 points.
Including a win. So that's going to be it for us.
Yes.
We promised we were going to get you guys out right after the lineup so you can get over there and see whatever they have in store at the bins. If you're going to the game, we will see you inside. But we appreciate if you guys subscribe to us on YouTube, Scarves and Spikes.
Yes.
Quick shout out to the Signia Hotel, the Nest on 4 bar. The awesome bartenders. Give them a round of applause because they're all amazing.
We know.
I'll give them a round of applause. Thank you, Chris from Philly. I appreciate it.
All right.
We know
This is the man right now.
Yeah.
We really appreciate the hosts being here for us. Great food, as you can see. So next time we're here, which is going to be on June 20th for Copa America, y'all come out and hang out with us.
And we know it was a tough kind of last few days for folks here at Signia, Capitanea, Nest on 4 of the water outage. So thanks for their service in spite of that. Thanks for sticking in, hanging in there with us. Appreciate their support and them hosting us once again. After the match, we have spaces on Twitter or X. So follow us on Twitter at Scarves, the letter and Spikes. Again, as Tyler said, subscribe to us on YouTube. Scarves and Spikes. I can't say it. You know it. Scarves and Spikes. Scarves and Spikes.
There you go.
I did not take a shot, but I still can't pronounce it.
You should have.
Check us out there if you aren't subscribed already. And let's hope for 3 points, gentlemen.
3 points before the international break.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate
Bye, guys.
you. And we'll see you next time.
Appreciate it, guys.
So long.